Welcome to Blueprint for April 3rd, 2025. I'm one of your hosts, Tom Hartman, marketing manager here at TradersPost, alongside Peter Hartman, also part of the marketing team. Today, we're going to be building, vibe coding, surprise, surprise, an astrology trading bot. They say that technical analysis is astrology for men. Well, let's try coding a strategy for women to see if this works. And of course, I mean the masculine spirit and the female spirit. All right, we're not.
Wait, hang on. Astrology?
Yeah, astrology bot. So there's already precedence for this. In TradingView, there is an indicator, a native indicator made by TradingView itself, called moon phases, which basically plots new moons and full moons on the chart. Now, surprisingly, Bitcoin goes up after a full moon and down after a new moon. Apparently, this is not enough for people to know that astrology is 100% real and should be followed religiously, but there's nothing we can do about that.
Has Michael
Now,
Saylor talked about astrology and Bitcoin? Because if the high priest of Bitcoin hasn't talked about this, then
actually, I think the Bitcoin buys for strategy for Bitcoin, I think maps specifically to specific astrological events. That's why people can't really peg it because they haven't found their edge up above. We're so busy looking down. We got to look up above, Peter. Okay.
Well, Satoshi Nakamoto is an anagram for completely made up. If you spell the
Peter, if you thought I was going to just run of the mill, come up here, take the moon phases indicator from TradingView, turn that into a strategy, automate that, and run it, and that would be it. Come on, that's not what TradersPost does. That's not what we do. What we're going to do instead is, alongside with the moon phases, we're also going to step it up a notch by doing Mercury and Venus retrogrades. We're going to add that in there because you know the retrogrades. Mercury retrograde means technology is not going to work very well. A CrowdStrike, Y2K, all these things happened during Mercury retrogrades, allegedly. And also, Venus retrogrades is about wealth. It's about beauty, but also like gold and stuff like that. So we'll see. We're going to code that in and see how it works.
Okay, wait. Okay, hang on. Question, okay? Has Mike approved this?
Look, this was John's idea.
No way.
Yeah, it was totally John's idea. You go look at office hours last week and you'll see totally John brought this up. Now, did I always want to make an astrology bot? Yes. But I was not going to suggest that. And actually, I did think I suggested it a few times, but John really ran away from it. So we're going to start that here. I'm just adding one little wrinkle here. We're going to be vibe coding. Le nom du jour. Vibe coding is where you're using AI in order to one-shot your scripts. Well, we're not going to one-shot it. We're going to be developing over time. I already did a part of it. I'm going to continue with it because I want to see more and more people use AI in order to code, in order to learn coding and create these different things. And it makes it so that it's more accessible to the common man, to the average plebe, to the regular citizen, right? They can come up to the level of coders, such as myself.
I thought vibe coding was an iterative process where you keep prompting and it produces, as opposed to
that's what we're going to be doing. It's just the holy grail is that we get to one shot it, but that's not going to happen this time.
All right.
If
you're doing an astrology thing, wouldn't this fall under the category loosely of vibe trading?
No, Peter. There's a science behind astrology. The planets do exist, unless you believe in flat Earth. The planets do exist, and they're moving in such a way. Now, whether they affect the charts or not, who knows? But people also take a look at the number of people taking taxis to figure out if that's going to affect the charts. I don't know how this is any crazier than that.
Okay.
All right. So let's take a look. So what we have already on the chart here, I'm just going to run you through what we have coded already. All this done with AI, my friends. All this done with AI. 1 second here. I'm going to just prove it. Right? I come with my AI system and I ask it, "Hey, genius." I find it's very nice to be very positive and friendly to the AI.
That sounds condescending if you call it "Hey, genius."
It doesn't understand sarcasm.
You know how I refer to my chat?
Let's hear it.
I say, "Hey, babe." Call it gig.
Well, here I basically said I'd love for you to make me a Pine Script indicator that displays on the chart the 8 moon phases. That was just the idea that I gave it, and the reason we're I always start with like the simplest thing. I never start with all the different features I need for it. One, because AIs at the moment don't completely understand Pine Script or the errors or how it needs to actually be done in the interface and all that sort of thing. It has a general idea, and so the more you give it, the more complicated it can get, and the more it can make mistakes. And then also one of the benefits here is that you just get to build upon it over time. So over here, basically, while you're seeing on the chart right now the moon phases that are plotted. Let me just switch this to.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! What is this?
Okay, so that script that AI gave me in my vibe coding session gives me the normal moon phases one for TradingView only displays new moon and full moons. But I wanted to have all the different types of moons: new, waxing first, waxing full, waning last. We got it all and more. All right. So we have all the 8 common moon phases, because the idea here is that, hey, maybe you'll have settings over here and you'll decide to trigger, maybe, you want to front run the full moon. So you get in beforehand, and then you get to ride up, right? Here, full moon, Bitcoin goes up. New moon, Bitcoin goes down. Full moon, Bitcoin goes up. New moon, Bitcoin goes up, but Bitcoin goes up. Okay, look, sometimes it doesn't work, but other times it does. So here we get to so I asked it afterwards, hey, just give me the option to filter this so that I could just see the new moons and full moons, and that's very much like the moon phases indicator, except let's just mine again.
Hey Tom, can you
Except
just
that we don't just have silly blue circles and white circles. We got the actual moon emojis there on the chart.
so the moon emojis came from where? From
Oh,
the
that's just normal inside of a computer ASCII
all right.
code.
Can you do me a
Right.
favor, Tom?
Let's hear it.
Can you just pull the either take your microphone down just a touch or pull it away from you, just because when you talk normally it's fine, just a little bit, because it's just peaking. You got to give me a second because my mind's a little bit blown here. All right. So TradingView has already an indicator that has those moon things on it.
Correct. That's this guy over here.
And then what made it the emoji? The AI or something you did?
No, just literally within the code over here. If you look down to the moon phases, it's literally just the emoji that's added in.
Gotcha. And people use this?
Emojis all the time. Have you
No,
not
no,
been
no,
alive?
no. I mean, people use this moon indicator.
I don't know. They should, because it works amazingly well. Look at that. A bottom in Bitcoin went up. Over here, new moon, it went down.
Yeah, okay, but you just showed two
New
examples
moon,
where
it went down. New moon down. Full moon
what's the
up.
success rate of the okay, is there a strategy based around this?
Look, when you start putting numbers to these things, you end up in situations where you think you shouldn't pursue it, right? You're waiting for 90% success rate. That's not going to happen here. If that was the case, hedge funds and Nassim Taleb and all kinds of different people will already have been doing this. It's not the case, right? But who knows? Maybe you combine this with other indicators. You combine this with other processes. Maybe you just use this as exit signals. Hey, when is the new moon? I'm not going to mess around with the destiny of the stars. I'm not gonna be have a Cassandra complex. I'm just going to go ahead and exit the trade. That's not the point. Let's continue, Peter.
Okay.
So in our vibe coding session, once it plotted the moons on the chart, it actually did this pretty straightforward. In fact, at one point, initially it didn't do the emojis. It just had all the labels. It literally just said the name of the phase as a label on the chart,
And
and then
by
it just
it,
takes
you
it
mean ChatGPT, right?
exactly.
And which model are you using?
I'm using. Oh, that's a great question. I actually should be using O3 Mini High, because I find that up until this one, its Pine Script was pretty crappy. But since this one, I find it to be pretty good, even better than Grok, which is Grok is I use all the time now. But for coding, I'm finding this to be pretty good. I haven't used the Gemini. I haven't used Claude for any of this stuff. Give it a shot, but this is essentially what I'm following. So the idea, and I'll be posting this chat within the comments so that you guys can go ahead and actually I'll just post it right now so you can even see it. And that way you can go ahead and continue the conversation and vibe code from where we are right now. So literally I just asked it, hey, can you go ahead and add the moon phase? Oh, so here in the process, as I'm asking it and iterating on it, sometimes I'm getting errors or I'm trying to explain how something is working and it's not getting it. So sometimes I have to give it a screenshot so that I actually get an idea of, hey, look, you in this case, it was only showing the moon phase for the current candle that I was on, but I wanted to get it for the past. And because I went back and forth, it wasn't getting it. I did a screenshot and sent it to it, and then I was able to fix it. One thing to remember when you are copying and pasting from ChatGPT to here, you'll end up in a situation where you'll often end up in a situation where there's errors. So let's say here I try to wait before I do that. Let me just actually, let me do it this way. So when you paste it, you'll get errors like this where I'm not sure you can see it. Do you see the squiggly line over here? There's an error. Actually, you know what? Let me just do one thing first. In version history, I don't know if we've ever showed this beforehand, but you have now, it allows you to see the diff between the previous version and the new version, what was modified. And you can also name your versions. This is something I was waiting for quite a while, where I can click on the menu item here, rename, and then moon and let's call it phases and retrograde. And that way I could always go back to a previous version that I had before, which before I didn't have that. I had to use like gist on GitHub in order to save all my scripts. I can enroll back easily. All right, so let's say I just take one of the previous versions of the code that I have. When I save it, you'll often get this error. Often from ChatGPT, you'll get this error. End of line without line continuation, expecting something, some other character. And what this means is that in most programming languages, when you hit enter and you're breaking up a line and you bring it onto the next line, you just do a tab, and that's enough in order for the programming language to know, hey, this is part of the line that I had before. That's all part of the same thing. That's not the case here in Pine Script Editor. And so what you want to do is that you have two choices. Either you can take all these spaces, delete them, and just go back to all in one line like this, and then that'll be fine, the way you might normally write it. Or if you want to continue with the formatting, what you do is add an extra space right at the end of the line, an extra space here, and then now it considers it all to be, oh wait, I have a mistake over here. This should work. Space. Okay, I'm still getting the error here. Why is that the case? Comma.
Classic vibe coding. Classic.
Well, this happens sometimes depending on where this is in the script. Let me just see here if I save this. It's this guy. All right, well, never you mind. Fine, we will just delete it all and put it back in one line. So usually one of those two things works. I'll often just put the space, but sometimes I'll have to go ahead and do that. And you'll get it in different kinds of situations. You'll get it in different areas in the code, in ternary operators, in function attributes. It'll constantly do this thing where it's trying to format it for legibility, and you'll get that error. So anyways, I'm going to bring that up. Let me just roll back to where we were before. Version history, name versions, phases, and restore this version. Peter, before being able to see this, the merges, you have to have it in another software.
How recent is it?
Sorry?
How recent is it?
I saw it show up maybe 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, maybe 3. I'm not sure when. There was no blog post about it, I'll tell you that. Okay, let's continue. So let's save view. We get our moon phases back. Okay. So you'll also notice here that, so I have the moon phases over there and also have the retrogrades in the background. So the red over here is Venus and the blue one is Mercury. Now, initially when I coded it, or when me and AI coded it, It was trying to calculate the retrogrades with an approximation. It using an approximate retrogrades happen in a specific, not a specific, in a type of interval. So it's like 21 days from this date, 23 days from that date, or whatever. But it's not so specific that you can just easily code that within a script. You need like basically, from what I understand, astrology tables that are paying attention to what the stars are doing. It's sort of like an almanac, and then you can there are people, astrologists who will calculate the retrogrades. This is just a phenomenon that happens with the planets. Peter, do you know what a retrograde is?
Yeah, it has something to do with your
Okay,
prostate or
so you don't
something.
know what a retrograde is. So what a retrograde is it's just when the planet looks like it's moving backwards. It looks like it's in an orbit, but then or in a path, and then it looks like it's moving backwards, and then forwards, and then backwards and forwards. It's a trick of the eye because of how the planets are set up and spin, but that's what's being calculated. So just technically, retrogrades happen, and there are astronomers. That's what I was looking for. Astronomers who track this. And so the approximation that I was getting in TradingView and Pine Script from AI was wrong because it was doing an approximation and it was always getting it off by a few weeks, a few months, and sometimes it even found a retrograde there that wasn't supposed to be there. So instead, what I decided to do is to have it do a deep research. Let's head down here. I had to do a deep research. Where are you? It took 16 minutes. It took way longer than I wanted to. I mean, already I feel like it's 1998 where an image is loading one line at a time and you're like, come on, will you just load already? But hey, that's what it is. So after 16 minutes, I thought it was broken. In fact, I couldn't even stop it. I basically asked it, hey, just go ahead. Well, first I tried to find an API that would generate a list of the retrogrades, all the retrogrades from the past, all the way to like 1970, all the way to the future of like 2050. Basically, I want to hard code the dates directly within the script, and be done with it. Then I know the dates are correct. And in 2050, somebody else can take care of updating the TradersPost script with new dates. But there's no API. That's always the first thing I'm gonna check. Is there an API? Because then I would just run a script that can calculate it. And if not, go ahead and scrape the internet and find me a list of all the Mercury and Venus retrogrades. And it did. I found all the retrogrades from 1970 all the way up to the wonderful year of 2050. Okay. So once it did that, then I ask it to go ahead and hard code those dates within the script. It's giving me an example over here. Here, this array, I didn't actually run this into the script, but this would have been wrong. There are no arrays of this kind in Pine Script. If you had pasted this inside of your script, you would have seen the error. I came back and I said, hey, you're not doing this properly. It figured out, oh, yeah, you're right. I'm not doing it properly. And it did it correctly. And then we have the situation where I have some of these dates that are showing in some of these dates that are showing here, back here. But now that I've confirmed that it's working, I can just go ahead and ask it, hey, it's working fine. Go ahead and add all the rest of the dates. So that's what I'll do that now. I'll say, let me just grab the code one more time, pass it to it, and I'll say everything seems to be working. Now add all the retrograde dates from let's go 2020 to 2020 to 2027. No, let's go 2020. Yeah, 7. I'll leave it at that because I don't want it to take too long. You guys can always go into the same thread and just ask it to add all the dates you want.
Wait, will your thread that you posted be updated with this, or you have to post a new link?
No, the up until the message that I just wrote, like now that I have new messages, I'm in a different thread. But that's why I wanted to share the thread as it is right now because it has all those dates in there already.
But didn't you just write a message?
Yeah, but so this new message I'm doing now won't be in there, but that's fine. Someone could just continue from there and they'll have all the dates. They can go ahead and ask the AI to add it to the script.
Gotcha. I have a question.
Let's hear it.
Am I beautiful? No. The question is that indicator with the moons that TradingView has already. How difficult would it be to create that? And is that indicator like open source and freely available to
Yeah,
be
good
used? Like,
question.
what's the deal?
It is. So basically, if you take a look at the code for that indicator, this is the native one. So it has a calculation where it's it, well, moon phases are easier to calculate uh, than retrogrades, but it has its own basically mini library here where it's calculating it.
Just a reminder that you posted the link in the chat, which is great. But I recommend posting the link when the stream is done in the
Oh
comments as a
yes,
pinned comment.
that's
So
right.
everybody you're watching, it'll be in the pinned comment down below. Let us know if you like this stuff, appreciate it too. You can write a quick comment while you're down there. It lets us know how you're feeling about the stuff. Maybe you have some other ideas. It also lets YouTube know that people are engaging with the content. So it's a meaningful way and a simple way for you to support Traders Post if you like what you're watching.
Already here, I got the code. Let me just go into our script and update it.
Honestly, I'm surprised you haven't made this before.
I'm working on one that's a lot more robust, Peter. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I'm all fine with making things for Traders Post and for the Traders Post community, but and this is a flaw, a character flaw. But if I made something that was very profitable and very good, and I gave it away for free to everybody, I'd be upset. I'd be furious. Actually, I'd be furious. All
It's
right,
like
here again in the air.
it's like giving a lotto ticket, a scratch card to your friend for their birthday, and then them winning 20 grand. You're like,
That
what?
happened to me once. They
No.
won $100. I never bought a scratch card for another person ever again, ever. Okay, so here when I saved it, I'm getting that error that I was telling you about. So here I'm just gonna offset all these phases by with a space, and then that error should be gone. The error should be down here again for this label. Let me just go ahead and add the space, for the parentheses, and then that should. Oh, there's a last one over here. Oh, all you guys are off. Come on, timestamps. Select you all. I remember. I'm old enough to remember when we didn't have select all like that or select infinity. It makes me feel very good to have it. These kids nowadays, Peter, they don't know how good they have it. My son goes, I don't want an AI code. What are you doing with your life? All right, let me save this. Great. Now we have the Venus retrogrades and the moon phases up until 2020. All right. Now, what I want to do is add events to these things. I want to add alerts to these occurrences when the retrograde starts, when it ends, and for the different moon phases. So let's go ahead and ask AI if it can do that. I'd like to add alert conditions for every moon phase and the start and end of a retrograde. For each Mercury and Venus separately. So we want to be able to add within TradingView an alert that we can actually choose our indicator and then choose a specific condition, like when the actual thing happens, so that we can actually trigger trades for that. This is the part I like, right? This is what I like about the 1998 loading thing is that you can start clicking on something, go get a drink of water, make yourself a sandwich, come back, and then finish what you're doing. Except that when I come back here, it's not an image that's loaded. It's for graduate students who have finished writing something for researching or whatever. It's
That's
great.
how I feel about rendering. Video editors, we have this running joke, like you're constantly rendering and you used to wait like half an hour for your stuff to be done. Now I'm on the M4 Max Studio. It takes 4 minutes for me to render something out, and it's like I used to have time between these jobs. Good problem to have.
Here I don't actually. Maybe I didn't have to. Oh no, I would have to do the whole script. I was going to say I could have just asked it just to render out just a section for the alerts, but I think they're going to have to add it in. Are they added it in? No, script didn't add it in.
You might want
Okay,
to let people see it load here because it's kind of cool if you haven't. I mean, I'm shocked by the number of people who don't use AI or don't use it much. Look at what it's doing. It's phenomenal. I remember GPT-3, or was it 2 that they first launched? Anyway, I remember 3, and
yeah,
it wasn't doing anything this complex.
not for us. It was happening behind the scenes with the corporate oligarchs, but it wasn't happening
Yeah,
with
because
us.
apparently they had GPT-4 2 years in advance or something like that.
All right, so we have an alert conditions that are happening here. Let's see if this works out. Alert conditions for the different moon phases, and we have alert conditions for Mercury retrograde start and Venus. That looks good. Let's go ahead and copy you in. Sorry, 1 second. All right, copy you in here. No matter how many times I tell AI that you have to do these spaces thing, for some reason, it does not know how to do it. Or maybe it just likes to refuse me in small, petty ways. Who knows?
And so many bad jokes just run through my head. I mean, there are great jokes, but I can't say them because it's 2025 and we've evolved.
All right. Come on, you. Okay. Oh, there's an error. Expected line. Okay, same error again. Okay, I didn't put the space for the parentheses. Okay, we have one down here. Cannot call NZ with argument source. An argument series bool was used, but integer is expected. So you are a Boolean. Okay, so that's not going to
So what
work.
happens if I get this error message and I'm not like you and I don't know this stuff? Can I take a picture to chat?
You can just ask it. Yeah, you can just ask it. So let's go ahead and see what it says. I'm getting the following error. You're right, because I did say I was vibe coding, and all of a sudden I'm using
Yeah,
words in order to do it.
that's right.
There is a limit to O3 mini high to how much. I don't know if I'm going to reach that limit soon, where it's like, hey, you've used me enough.
Well, you don't pay the 200 USD a month for.
Oh, it's only $200 a month. I should just buy it.
I'm looking for a reason to do it. This ChatGPT image gen has gotten me close, but you don't get anything extra with the upgraded plan for images. If they gave me unlimited images and not rate limited, I would be paying that $200 a month for sure.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I would just cancel something else and I'd put it on there. Yeah, the things you can create with ChatGPT image gen is unbelievable. That combined with Midjourney, and you've got it's God mode.
I got the same error again for Venus, so I'm just going to assume the fix is the same.
Oh, so it gave you an answer?
You gave me an answer. Let's see if
What
this
was
works.
the answer?
It said to do it this way instead. That instead of using NZ, to use if you're on the first bar, just let this value be false. Otherwise, let it be the value from the bar before.
All right.
Which is what this guy is doing. It's trying to say, hey, if the bar before, well, this one says if the bar before is false. That shouldn't be the case.
Vibe coding strikes again.
Let's see. Let's undo that.
I've seen the memes for vibe coding. It's all like people laughing at constantly getting error messages, and but eventually it works out, I guess.
Well, after you vibe code enough, if you run into an error too much, you can just tell your client or anybody afterwards. Well, it can't be done.
Right.
Series integer. Oh, does this only work with integer now in Pine Script 6? I think that's what it is. In Pine Script 6, it's different. Oh, yeah, look at that. You can't have a Boolean value there anymore. Okay, anyways, let's do this. False. False. Yeah, why does it even have to be there? Let's see.
If you had the Pro plan, you could do the share screen and be speaking to ChatGPT, unlimited advanced voice mode, and it'll see your screen. Have you ever done this where it sees your screen on your phone or your computer?
Well, I had that with Open Interpreter. So Open Interpreter already sees my computer. In fact, it's too powerful. If it decides it wants to delete everything on my computer, it will.
Yeah, well, so there's that, but you're not talking to Open Interpreter like with your voice.
Well, why do I want to talk? I don't want to talk.
Look,
That
I don't
seems
want
too
to
much
talk
like
either, but a lot of
people
people, they do like it. So I find it.
I've never tried it. Okay, here we go. We have our alerts. So we fixed it. We have now our moons and we have our retrogrades. So if we wanted to, we can go ahead and now connect that to a TradersPost strategy. So in TradersPost strategies, create
Be
a new
careful not
one.
to reveal any information here. I don't know what are we doing.
No,
here?
this is my account.
All right.
This is all my stuff. So amazing astrology bot. When Lambo. Let's make it for crypto. Allow auto submit. Let's create save. Let me connect it to Kraken. Remove the part I don't need for the name.
Would you
Auto
ever buy a
submit
Lambo?
on. Would I buy a Lambo?
Mm-hmm. Of all the cars that are out there, would you buy a Lamborghini?
No, I'm a Bentley kind of guy.
Yeah, Lambo just seems way too much.
Well, I'm only
Too much.
married, so I'm not trying to get any. I'm not trying to get any ladies.
Well, it's a saddest symbol, but the upkeep, I mean, my goodness. And then if you're driving around in a city like Montreal with the potholes, I mean, heaven forbid.
All right, over here on crypto, I can't have I can't short, so I'm going to leave it bullish. Allow any ticker. I'm going to enable. Yes. Risks. I accept all the risks. I never not say it. I never get to a screen like this and say I'm not going to accept the risk. I accept the risk.
Sometimes I don't.
Oh,
If I'm unsure.
I never. If I'm on a screen, I've already made the decision.
Sometimes they trick you. Like I was setting up my new Samsung TV, and I got to the point where I had to accept an agreement. But there was these 2 check marks for like marketing and all that stuff that I didn't realize. But they heavily imply that you have to check these boxes in order to move forward.
Heavily
So
imply, like restrict your moving forward.
no, it's like the way the UI was set up. It was like, here are these boxes. You need to accept this to move on, but you needed to accept the written text above, not the part that was below.
Right.
I'm like, okay. I'm a Christian, so I can't say the words I want to say, but F you, okay?
All right, so here I'm grabbing the webhook for my strategy. That's where I want to send the signal to TradersPost in order to actually execute the trades. I'm going to go back to Trading View, and I'm going to create, looking at the chart here, I'm thinking, okay, let's go ahead and enter on a new moon. So moon phases with retrograde. Let's go full moon, once per bar on the daily time frame. And in my message over here, actually first on my notifications, let me go ahead and connect to my webhook URL. That's where I'll be sending my message to. And following the documentation for TradersPost, I'll just go ahead and grab an entry signal. I'll switch this to ticker placeholder, so it'll replace the ticker of the chart I'm on. Wait a minute. I just connected this to a live account, didn't I?
Do it. Do it.
Yeah, that's not gonna
Just
auto spin
do
off.
it.
Right.
You're the one who just finished saying, I don't even check. I just click on the green button. I just move
I say
forward.
some things for the memes, Peter. I'm not actually going to lose my money on it. All right, so buy for a new moon. And let's say I also wanted to buy. Is there any other buy opportunities we're seeing over here? No. So let's say, yeah, let's do right after retrograde. Well, I want to buy 2. So I'm going to create that alert. It shows up in my sidebar. And I'm going to create another alert for moon phases when retrograde ends. So when, the stars say it's good for me to now trade again, I'm going to enter there. You know what? Let me add this. I'm going to call it Bison Astro Buy. Ooh, Astro Buy. Is that domain name available?
I like it.
Webhook URL is still there. Create. I'm going to rename the next one to Astro Buy.
It's got a retro name feel for the retrograde indicator. Give me my money. All right.
All right. I'm going to copy this now for my cells. So I will for here. Let's right click, clone, and I'll make this one Astro Cell for new moon, once per bar. Change my action to sell. Notifications on. Perfect. I'm going to copy that for when retrograde starts. Clone retrograde starts. Oh, not Venus. Mercury retrograde starts. Once per bar. Sell. Webhook URL. Now, there's one thing I didn't do. I didn't put the quantity of what I want to buy. I could put that within the JSON message here, what I want to buy and sell. Actually, I'm being ridiculous. Sell here. Since I can't short, I'm going to switch these to exit. Ah! It fired.
Okay. Why are you surprised by this?
Well, I didn't know that we were in the... Oh, yeah, that's right. We are in the middle of one. Okay, let me just change this one from sell to exit. And I'm going to head over to my subscription details. And for position size, I'll actually go ahead and say I want to, amount per position, $100. Use fractional quantities on because I am in crypto. Let me save that. All right, so it's saved. Let me see if that webhook came through. Let's go to the webhook for that strategy. Oh, there was 2 signals came in.
Didn't we hear them?
They were exit signals, so that's why it wouldn't go. Okay, perfect. All right, so that's set up. And that's all to it. Peter, I thought that was going to be a lot more complicated. There's other things we can do with the script, right? Now, the question is, hey, can we backtest any of this stuff, right? Yeah,
I
of
thought
course.
you can only backtest strategies.
That's right. So what we would do is go into the script. And I'm not going to vibe code this because I want to show you this real quick. But I could switch this to a strategy. Oops. I spelled it. And then at the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and what should we do? Let's backtest what we just did. You know what? Let's do the vibe code route. Let's do it. Let's do it. 1 second here.
I've been watching Guga Foods, and he says that a lot. Let's do it. Okay, everybody.
All right. I'd like to turn this into a strategy where a buy signal is sent whenever the moon becomes full or the Mercury retrograde ends, and exit that position when and sell when the moon is new, and what did we say before? And when the Mercury retrograde starts.
Look, I'm making fun of this retrograde thing, but um, I was told, according to my chart, that I was in this period here where technology would fail me and then accidents would happen, and it definitely did. It's been a pretty bad spell recently.
My car accelerated for a reason I didn't expect. Just accelerated down the street, almost crashed multiple times. My toilet overflowed, like broke. The tank broke. I never had a toilet tank break. That broke. I had to fix it, and then my fridge died. All within the retrograde. You tell me that's not fact.
It's proven.
All right.
This is just scientific study. We just proved it. But anyway, to be in all honesty, I do listen to. Look, I quit my job based on this astrological reading, and
Not TradersPost, the one before this.
no, before this, and I was told it was going to be very difficult. That I would come to regret it, but then I would be happy I did it, and 100%, 100% true. Look, was that a nebulous kind of claim? I don't know, but it gave me the confidence in order to move forward. So I might make fun of this stuff, but I'm all for it. But I'm not the smarty pants over here. What really matters is what Tom thinks. Tom, are you on board with this astrology thing?
To me, it feels just like when people read charts. And so to me, it's like, does it work for you? Is it useful? Does it get you out of bad habits, make you start new ones? If it is, then believe it. I'll wake up from a dream and change my life. So come on.
Right. I listened to Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility. I'm like, yeah, oh yeah, I'm actually going to live my life that way.
All right, it added a bunch of. I just remembered now. Alert conditions won't work within a strategy. It only works within an indicator, so that's fine. Whatever. Let's just copy this. We'll actually save you first. Let's save you as the indicator version.
Are these diffs auto-saved?
No, I save them. I keep doing command save. Now let's do the strategy version. All right, strategy version there. We're going to have to fix these guys again. You.
I feel like an eclipse should be on here at some point. No? Shouldn't?
Eclipse! Well, oh man. Yeah, lunar or solar. That'd be pretty cool. Oop, I did that wrong. All right. Wow, we're up to 4,000 viewers. That's amazing. Thank you, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe. Drop your name inside. If you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime, give us a sub.
But we're streaming on X now, right?
We're on X, on YouTube, and Twitch, I believe.
The platform formerly known as Twitter.
Imagine we get a bunch of Twitch subscribes. I'd be like, Mike, we got this money from Amazon. I'm not sure what we're supposed to do with it. We'll figure it out.
Wait, are we actually on Twitch as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, really? Interesting.
We've always been on Twitch.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm famous now.
Ooh, look at that, 115%. I don't know the details. I don't know the stats, but that looks pretty good. Minting money, people. Astrology. Okay, so let's go. Let's just change this so we can read it a little bit. In our entry signal, let's just make this long, and then our close signal will be comment close, just so we can see it. Okay, look at that, guys. We have a long here and closes at the new moon. A long closes at the new moon. Long closes at retrograde. Oh, this is sweet. This is pretty good. I gotta say that's pretty good. So if we wanted to, we can go ahead and create an alert for that. And we don't have to worry about right now our alerts that we created before, because this is tied to the indicator version. It's always tied to the version that you had of the indicator at the time. I mean, not that I'm going to keep these on. There's no way. There's no way I'm running real money behind this. I'm going to go ahead. And so over here, I can actually just use a bunch of the native placeholders for this. Let's go ahead. Let's just head back quickly to our Traders Post. We'll go to Webhooks. Actually, let's go back to our subscription. Where is it? Edit Webhook. And I'm going to grab in the Trader View strategy. I love that John added this in. Copy button here. And here it's going to, so the ticker is going to be taken automatically. It's a placeholder from TradingView. All these are placeholders from TradingView. Our action strategy.order.action will automatically take the right one. So it'll be buy or sell accordingly. Our sentiment, important here, it'll make sure that our position is either bullish or flat. Number of contracts, now I can set that within my script. The price and the time now, which is optional. That just doesn't actually do anything in the back end of TradersPost. It's just there to be able to compare the times the alerts came through. So I could go ahead, make sure my webhook URL is set up correctly, and create. Within my script, I can actually set in the properties panel, which is now there because it's a strategy. I can set my initial capital, what my position size would be, and that sort of thing. Perfect. So when we take a look at the stats, Peter was doubting whether or not this would be profitable, but it turns out if you run this on Bitcoin since 2011, you made so much money. I mean,
yeah, does it account for slippage?
Well, this would be buy and hold. So buy and hold is a lot more. But let's see what this looks like on. Let's see what this looks like on Nasdaq futures. No results. No results. Why aren't you giving us any results? 1 second here. Am I doing something wrong? Let's see here. We have all the events. These are full moon. Wait, where are my other moons? Oh, I only showed those. Let's see this here a second. Why would you not be showing strategy?
Is there too much data for memory? No, you have premium. So.
No. Is that actually showing anything? Let's just take a look if there's anything in the script that would stop it. Strategy there. Let me just add it to the chart again.
You can always ask ChatGPT.
It's just strange. Actually, I've never actually seen this before. Ooh, in the last 5 minutes, let's just see if we can figure this out.
It wouldn't be a Blueprint episode if Tom didn't hit an obstacle. Hopefully insurmountable.
Okay, Peter, you're here by my grace. All right. You can go back into your hole and make the marketing materials like you're supposed to. You come out here to make me look good. All right.
You surprised me with this astrology thing. So, you got me in a mood. You got me in a mood today, Tom.
Okay. I'm not sure why that's not. Let's see if the buy signal is even firing. I know this is not vibey, but I just want to see why this is not working.
We get it. You're like a problem solver. You see a problem, you need to solve it. You see a knot, you need to untie it. I'm the same way.
Firing. Oh, I'm so stupid. I'm so dumb. Why do I always do this? I know what the problem is. I've had this problem a million times and I always forget. It's position size. 10% of $10,000 is not going to get me anything here.
So obvious.
So obvious. It's because they switched this to this margin here. Let's go infinite margin, and they won't have to worry about it.
All right. So what do I have to do the next time you have this problem to remind you of this solution? Position size.
Let's just do one contract. Okay. So we are actually getting results, which are pretty bad, given the fact that we're not. There's no margin requirements. If we had the margin requirements here of 100%, or even let's call it 50%. I forget what the margin is for Nasdaq futures. I should ask Mike. And let's say I'm starting off with $100,000, one contract. Still pretty bad.
What's better than
187%, but with like drawdowns for what's this period of time?
but if it's buy and hold, what do you care about the drawdowns?
Oh, it's the global financial crisis. I would have look for that. You have to consider Jupiter, Uranus, Saturn, and then it would have like prevented you from all those different things. Okay. So before we end here, just some stuff you might want to. I'm going to be posting this the script on the TradingView account for TradersPost. You'll be able to grab it. I'll put the ChatGPT message over there. Stuff you might want to play around with is that you can ask AI to give you the option to um, select what is the event you want to tie to the entry and exits. Right, so you don't have to necessarily do it the way like I have it hard coded for Mercury retrogrades and whatever and moon phases, but you can ask AI to give you a drop down menu so that you can test different things out, see what the backtest is like. You can change your position sizes. You can ask it to add in some other of the events that happen. I've heard my wife say stuff like planets trine other ones or other ones square something. So maybe that means something. You're going to need to upgrade. But what's fun about this is that I wanted to do an astrology script a couple of years ago, but I want to sit down and learn all the details about astrology. I mean, come on. I'll give up making money if it means I don't have to study something I don't feel like studying. But using AI and going back and forth with it, you start off 30% of the way there, 50% of the way there, and after a couple of hours, you have something that works. So something like this would have taken me a lot longer. Well, 2 days at least, Peter, in order to make it. And as we saw over here, it just took a little bit. And you'll see the time I took to do it, I don't know, 3 hours just to experiment, play around. And that's because I ended up in astrology APIs and scraping different websites and using different AI tools. It didn't have to take that long. That's just what I did. And you can connect it up to TradersPost and you have it running. You can run it with real money. You can run it on a forward tested on a paper account. All kinds of interesting things. It's a new world, Peter. It's a new world that we're in.
Where else are you going to find this type of content, folks? All right. Is there anybody doing anything like this? Blueprint coding, live vibing, vibe trading, although technically it's not
Vibe
that.
coding.
Astrology.
Vibe trading is losing money. That's what vibe trading is. It's
That's
gambling
right.
or losing money. Vibe coding is a science.
Coding, astrology indicators, quality content here. Look, if you can go and find somebody else doing content like this live on YouTube or anywhere on the internet, send me the link and I will give you 1,000. All right. Remember to like and subscribe. We've got a lot of more ideas. Tom, do you know what's coming up next for Blueprint?
Yes, it's more exciting still than the astrology bot, and it's a dividend capture bot. Allows you to trade capture dividends. Let's just see how that works. Again, we're going to be using AI for a lot of the stuff, folks, because one, I like it, and that's what we basically do on Blueprint, things I like, and that get approved by Mike and John. So that's what I do. But if I don't like it, I don't suggest it. So that's not going to happen. If you guys have any ideas, go ahead and message on YouTube or on Twitter. Love to get your feedback. Hey, can you make this? Can you make that? It'd be interesting. One thing I should mention, I did mention at the top, I'll mention it here. We provide no disclaimers all over. Do your own research. This is just for fun and just for entertainment, just so you can try it out yourself. We're going to give you access to the script, but by no means are we saying that it's perfectly coded and you're going to make money or anything like that. In fact, I guarantee you will lose money and it's poorly coded. There, I said it. It's over. It's done. Put that on the tin. But that'll be it for right now. We'll be back next Thursday, 3 p.m. for another Blueprint. And until then, we wish you guys happy trading.